Greetings. Welcome to Safe Space Talks Mind Mastery one more time and again. And today's show is on abuse, indicators in relationships, and how to recognize. Now, what I want to share in this show doesn't mean that you're in an abusive relationship. However, it can help you become more alert when you see some of these indicators I will discuss further down in this video. I will focus on relationships and touch on how the abuse begins. There are many types of abuse: physical, domestic violence, sexual, psychological, which we'll touch on, financial, discrimination, neglect. It's so many, but there are a few I will identify in this video. Again, today I'm only speaking on the indicators in a relationship to assist you to recognize the signs. Be aware of the difference between having an argument and disagreement every now and then, and when there's a pattern of repeated offenses. It's okay to just, we're having a disagreement. I didn't like how you did that, as opposed to someone trying to actually take control over your whole full being. And in this video, I'm going to show the difference between, listen, it's okay, we disagree. But when you start trying to control another individual, that's a different story. So I want you to know abusers are masters of manipulation. So that's one sign. You have to understand that when you're being manipulated and how to identify that as well. And you feel it. Guys, you know what? Stop underestimating that gut feeling. Stop thinking your friends are haters, right? Because one of my friends really was like, the guy you're dating, he's not good for you. And, I just was like, and it turned out she was very right and I was very wrong. And it was a lot that happened. Okay, I'll leave that to the end. But being alone with them, that can be a different story as to the person you see in public. So that's another little tip. When you two are alone and there's a lot of, friction, but then when y'all outside with your friends and it's all lovey-dovey, pay attention to that, because abusers are often critical, rigid, and very resolute in their convictions. They are always right and you are always wrong. Remember that. So I'm going to talk about the entryway of how the abuse starts. The abuser entry may start from a trigger or something someone said or did. Here's the introduction to that person you're about to meet. Yes, you're about to meet your abuser. The person you thought was so nice. They made you laugh. They took you out to dinner and y'all went traveling. They bought you gifts. So they were so caring. And now they're bringing tears and anxiety into your life. And that's another tip. If you're finding out that you're very emotional all the time with this person and you have lots of anxiety and you're depressed and you're crying, it might be time to reevaluate the relationship. And this is for both male and female. There's no discrimination when abusers enter a relationship. Once an abuser has entered once the abuse starts in the relationship, the person who's being abused the relationship is permanently altered. So right then and there, when you don't leave and you stay in it and you already know that this relationship has just been permanently altered, your emotional state is at stake, you have to reach out for some help. Because now and I'm going to use this word loosely, victim, because I don't like that. So I might try to say this person, that person. But when I say abuse, and we're talking about relationships, I mean in totality, verbal, physical, emotional, and psychological. This is often the reason why most people in abusive relationships feel trapped. Okay. Let's talk about some of the indicators. Here are indicators that you may be dealing with when you're dealing with an abuser. When you realize you've been subjected to emotional and psychological manipulation, you are now in an abusive relationship, right? When it started, we talked about the emotional part, the alteration. Now you know that something is really, really wrong. When someone is constantly, aggressively abusive towards a person, these are indicators. Here's a sign. The reverse psychology. That is like, oh my goodness, the abuser's, favorite manipulating tricks to pull out. Okay. The reverse psychology. An abuser may use something a person did to play the victim. Now they use what you did to now try to play the victim or twist the story to portray themselves as the one being attacked. Oh my goodness. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. That is an indicator for sure. If you find yourself constantly saying, I didn't say that, you're taking that out of context. Why are you leaving? Or why are you yelling? When you find yourself saying these things over and over and over, let me repeat it if you missed it. I didn't say that, right? You're having that entry argument. I didn't say that. And they're saying, yes, you did, right? Or you telling the person, you're taking that out of context. That's not what I meant. And they're like just being too much. Why? And then this is, oh, I've dealt with this. So that's why I said trigger warning. I dealt with this. So, it's like, why are you leaving? I'm leaving. And you're like, what? Right? Or why are you yelling? Or they're consistently yelling at you like you can't hear and we're 2 inches away from each other. Okay. There might be an issue brewing in your relationship. Okay. So we went through the emotion, we went through signs of the abuser. Now we're at the indicators. Okay. So if you find yourself repeating the same thing over and over, there's something going on. And here is the top relation indicators of an abuser. It begins with undermining, gaslighting, emotionally manipulating. That's what we talked about. And that's over time. So you have to start connecting the dots from the time we met when we was all lovey-dovey to the pulling back, right? You with me? The pulling back, the difference between when we're alone and when we're around friends. Okay, that what's going on? These are signs. These are the indicators. The constant criticism. Why are you wearing that? I like this color on you. And, in the beginning is, you do, yeah. No, but, why are you wearing those shoes? Why are you wearing that shirt? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing constant criticism? Pay attention. The isolation. Oh, goodness gracious. Why your friend always calling? Why this one's always coming over here? We trying to do our own thing. You always going out with so and so. I don't want you going out with them no more. What about me? I think that's okay. I can't say that because it's not always true, but that "what about me" statement, hmm, and of course the mind games, which causes the person who's being abused to question themselves or second guess themselves. They're like, what did I say? Or they begin to think that they've done something wrong. And this is what causes the stress and anxiety in your life. Now you like, what is, why, someone who you're dating or, trying to build a relationship, you should not have stress and anxiety. Hey, they calling me again. Oh, they calling me again. Oh, oh, hey, they want to come over. Can you come over? Those are signs that you don't feel comfortable around that person. So, we gonna talk about the exit strategy, but these are indicators. So those are two telltale signs that you might not be in a those are the two tell signs that you might not be in the right relationship. And this causes the person to respond out of desperation and defense to prove their point. Okay, so the person who's abusing the other person, right, the victim, is now like, hold up, right? Because, as a woman, okay, wait, okay, now this is going too far. And I'm not a guy. I don't know how guys respond in these situations. If you're a guy, tell me below. But, then it's like you defending yourself. Like you keep saying, I'm doing this, right? Because we talked about it's constant criticism. So you're not gonna keep saying this or that, and your abuser is gonna lure you into their traps by, playing the victim, right? That you have caused this and you are attacking them. Okay, so you got to be aware of that. Now, the abuser will use your words against you and change the script. Trust me. They will say, see, you're the one out of control. Why are you acting like that when you're trying to defend yourself? When you're just like, listen, how many times, because after a while, you're like, no, I don't, no, you're wrong. And so you may get a little antsy with them. And this is what they're waiting for. Okay, let me tell you, they are so waiting for you to begin to defend yourself so that they can use your everything. Oh my goodness, they're going to use every word you say against you and change the script. They will say, see, you the one out of control. Or look how you treating me. This is not funny, but it's like, you're like, what? How I'm treating you? No, you were saying that, A, B, and C. This is classic manipulation tactics. That's classic. Please pay attention. And that makes the one being abused feel guilty and confused and trapped in a toxic relationship. Because you're like, wait, no, you did this. No, look how you're talking to me. I'm talking to you normal. I'm asking you a question. You're not answering me, so you're getting frustrated. Like, just answer the question. Why are you talking? Why are you yelling at me? If this sounds familiar, I'm here to help you out. So let me know in the comments if you've ever been in a toxic relationship or heard these responses before when you've been in an argument, because that is classic manipulation. All right. And the aftermath of the victim, the person trying to plead their case to an abuser, after you're trying to defend yourself, what happens is the abuser now becomes dismissive and begins to blame the victim, not for being supportive and calling them the abuser, twisting the narrative. Oh my goodness. This is the introduction to the abuser's next move to isolate you from family and friends. They will say, how much they love you, and oh, we need time together. We have to work this out. Have you heard these words? Therefore, when you want to visit your family or hang out with your friends, they will say, I made plans for us. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What you mean you going out? I thought, no, aren't we trying to work on our relationship? I made plans for us. I thought you wanted to work on us. And if you resist and you like, because we're still in defense mode, like, no, I'm going out or I'm going to, then they may react with anger. Okay. And so this is where the abuse starts. Okay. So did you see the pattern? You see how we got to where now it becomes physical? Now it becomes that place of, uh-oh. Okay. And, you know, you're going to have to talk to somebody. And you know they will become loud and try to make you feel bad or appear frustrated when you say no, I'm going to go out, when you resist. When you see these recurring behaviors in your relationship, you might be in a pickle. you know so they will start belittling you, they will start gaslighting or invalidating you, and the abuse, pushing you, um, and once hands start getting thrown, it's a bad situation. But by recognizing these indicators earlier, you may prevent yourself from entering into an abusive relationship. All right, so now we talked about the abuse, we talked about the indicators, and we now are into the abusive relationship stage. And my phone just won't. I'm so sorry, guys. Let me put it on silence. I meant to do that, but my bad. However, if you have already met the other person you hadn't met before and think you're in an abusive relationship, here are a few things you could do. Here are a few more indicators, and then I'm going to talk about some things that you can do. So, okay, so now you realize that you're in a toxic relationship. Okay, so however, if you have already met that other person and you're realizing that you're in a toxic relationship, I'm going to talk about how to get out. But if you haven't met the person just yet, and you seeing some indicators but you're not sure, let me share some that may help you identify. Does the person always put their needs and priorities first before yours? Does the toxic person respond in a way that makes you question your own thoughts, memories, and events, and turns the table when you bring up a valid complaint and focus on your defense as you being the troublemaker, as I just mentioned? If you disagree with an opinion or decision, are you called disloyal, negative, or some explicit words? Do you find yourself apologizing a lot? No, I didn't. No, I didn't mean to upset you. Oh, I don't want. I didn't know that upset you. Ooh, you know what else too? That pity party. Ooh, my aunt died, my mama died, and around this time, be careful of that too. Be careful of that. When your friends or family members express concerns about what's happening in your relationship, do you defend the abuser or come up with excuses for their behavior? That's a big one. Some of you guys, no, that's just how they are. Remember I said that earlier? No. If people outside the relationship is noticing something, trust me. Trust me. Try to have an open mind, family. Try to open your mind because they're seeing something you can't see because you're blinded by just being in a relationship, having someone pay you some attention. You haven't been in a relationship in a while. This person is giving you all the attention, and now you like, no, they. You know what? He wasn't. She wasn't feeling good, and so that's what happened. No, never make an excuse for poor behavior. All right. Does this person behave negatively towards you, but pleasant towards others? Remember, I said when you guys are alone and they're kind of rigid and stuff, but when y'all around people, they all happy go lucky. Okay, you gotta gotta pay attention to that. And if you bring it up and ask them, you know, how come you don't treat me, or why when we together I don't get that same kind of treatment? And you know what they will say? Ain't nobody else feels like that. Nobody else feel like that but you. When we around, everybody good. What are you talking about? At that point, at that point, excuse me, you really gotta ask yourself second and third level questions, as I always say. Have you lost your identity, ambitions, ambitions, values, and beliefs? Now you ain't even going to church on Sunday no more. You don't even know who you are with this person. And that's what some of your family members are saying. You change. You're different when you're with so and so. And you're like, no, I'm not. Your ambitions. You were going to school. You was going after this good job. And then all of a sudden, what happened? Because they was like, nah, what? That's gonna move you to a different state. But what about us? Honey, let me say something. Anybody who has not put a ring on your finger, if you need to go to another state to better yourself, to accomplish something that your heart desires, that God has opened up a door for you to do, and you not married to that person, bye-bye. Okay? Listen, hey, we will Zoom or something, or we're gonna work it out. Now you married, we're not talking about married people. Only because, first of all, if you see these indicators, that's not the person you're supposed to marry. If you're in the relationship and you married the person, now you're finding yourself identifying with this, I have numbers for you to call. It's so unfortunate. But I hope, please share this video, because if more people can identify the indicators, we will have better relationships, right? You won't lose your identity. You won't neglect your ambitions. You will keep your values and your beliefs, right? Oh my goodness, this is so good. Do you feel belittled, devalued, or dismissed? Before it was, sure, I'll go to the store and pick you something up. Now it's, no, I'm too busy. I'm tired. I don't feel like it. Right? And you're like, wow, okay. So that's what we're doing now. Okay. And are you made to feel like you are too much, too needy, or not even enough? Right? Because, when they met you, that's like, oh, you so beautiful. Oh, you so, I love you. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And then it's, why you always, why you keep calling me? Right? Now, before y'all was calling every day and everything. Now it's, why you calling me? Every time I turn around, you calling me, asking me something. You just called me. Why are you calling me? Oh boy. Life, right? And people. This is why I love doing safe space talks, because I can help y'all out, boy, I promise you. So when you have a better understanding of who and what you are dealing with, it will be easier to find a solution to dissolve and uncouple and heal from your pain. And what's sad is that this hurts. Okay, when you meet someone and it starts out all good, and then you find out you meet the person that they was hiding, like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and they have, I was watching a series called the Crowded, is it The Crowded Room, about split personalities, and I love that movie Split. And they trying to say that that's not real. Honey, it is real. People will be one way on Monday at 12 o'clock, and at 12 and 30 seconds, they are somebody else. And you're just like, wait a minute, all you did was blink, and you don't even know who you are dealing with. And it's hurtful. You admire, you love the person, and they made you feel loved, and now they have just betrayed you. But honey, don't feel bad, because the Bible talks about betrayal. So if Jesus was betrayed, guess what? You too may be and will be betrayed. So don't feel bad. Just learn how to move on, not take the offense, because read your Bible clearly. There will be offense, but you have to take it to be offended. Okay, that I feel my help coming. So let me slow down and get back on the relationship. All right, so learn to move on. No, you do not deserve to be mistreated. No person on this earth has the right to physically abuse you because you wore the blue shirt instead of the red shirt, or the brown shoes instead of the black shoes. Nobody has the right to put their hands on you, smacking you around like you they slave. Don't be a slave in a relationship. Do not be a slave in or to a relationship. All right, so I was in an abusive relationship, so I know what I'm talking about. I learned from it, I moved on, and I have had healthy relationships since then. And that is because uh, I told people, and I got people, and I got people involved. All right. So I'm going to put on the information on what y'all know that we're here uh, online, and we want to help you. That's why we're here. Okay. And we're here also every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time on this wonderful YouTube channel. And I would love for you to share, because there's some good information, especially on indicators, on this show. And now, if you have found yourself, now, if you have found yourself in a pickle, in an abusive relationship, and you need help, please call 1-800-799-7233 or text begin to 88788, because leaving an abusive relationship of any kind is not easy. However, it is one of the bravest steps you can make to reclaim your peace and your safety, and that's for both male and female. And we know that unreported abuse will lead to pure destruction. And there's another D word, but I don't want to say that, so I'll just say destruction. So there is help, and steps to follow to leave an unsafe environment. What can you do if you what can you do if you're in an abusive relationship? Let me tell you. Make a plan. Decide where you will go. If you have a trusted friend or a family member, see, this is why. This is why. Let me say something. Let me just interject right here. This is why when you're seeing someone, you have your trusted friend who meets that person so they can put a face, right, to this person who's going to eventually try to isolate you and have some control over you. Nobody meets my family. You shouldn't be taking them to this one's house and that one house and inviting them to the family cookout. No one gets invited to the family cookout. Okay? Sorry. And y'all be moving too quick. So now they know where your favorite cousin live at. And if that's the person whose house you can stay at or be there for a minute, now they know where you at. So no, they gonna be stalking the house, seeing if you coming in and out. I know. So listen, don't I know, I know. You want to show off because he cute, she cute, not the family. Family is for the ring. Family is for the engagement. Family is for and give yourself time. Give it a year. Give yourself some time to get to see this person. How they drive. Do they have road rage? I know. Okay, let me go. Let me finish. I gotta hurry up. Okay. You make a plan. Trusted friends and family house. Make the arrangements. Make sure they understand they must be discreet. Or you go to a shelter, especially if you're married to an abuser and you have family. And you have children. You are going to now see being in an abusive relationship will cost you. Let me let you know it's going to cost you. It's not like before. It's going to cost you. Okay, so now you got that expensive iPhone. You have to change your phone because they may have placed a tracker in your phone. I know technology. Check your car. They may have placed a tracker on your car. You got to do a whole sweep, okay? Because people are on different levels. You have to prepare your essentials. Keep a grab bag. Fill it with clothes. Make sure you know what you got to do, and make sure you get a current photo of your abuser. And if you can get any other information, for example, a photo of their driver's license or credit card, like when they go to sleep or they're taking a shower, go in the wallet, click, click, get that picture. Because if it gets out of control, it'll be easier for the police to track them if they have a photo or the driver's license or credit card information. um, you know Technology. Document your abuse when it starts. This is sad, but when it starts, you have I'm telling you, this is why I put trigger warning. Take photos of your scars, the correspondence, witnesses. If you was out in public, go back the next day when you can. Talk to the store person. If they have video of him shoving you or her shoving you around, because let me tell you, women are just as bad as men these days. Ask, can they send a copy to the police for you? You're gonna have to, file a police report, and especially if you have children with your abuser for legal purposes. And as I mentioned, if you're married to that person and you have children or you have that person's child, because at some point you're going to have to go to court. Okay. So take photos of the scars, witnesses, police reports. Again, especially if you have children, you're going to have to open up a new bank account and apply for new credit cards. Do not use the same bank where you once shared an account. You have to open up a P.O. box for a year and have your mail go there. You know, you gotta. It's a whole new move now. Okay, and being that you have a new location from your house, you got to get the P.O. box, have the mail go to the P.O. box. Take legal recourse if necessary. If you feel unsafe, talk to your local police department about a restraining order. Now, I don't know. My situation was back in the 80s. So I don't know about restraining orders now, but I can tell you then it didn't mean anything. I mean, um, he got served a restraining order. I turn around, he outside my house. So, by the time you call the police and, by the time they get there, the person gone. So what I did was, I have friends, right? And I have certain friends I call Abishai, right? So I have Abishai friends. Stay with me. And if you don't know about Abishai, I need you to read your Bible. It's Abishai. Abishai. Now, I have Abishai friends. I have always had Abishai friends. And they care about me. And when I was in my situation, uh, one of my Abishai friends actually came and just lived with me for like 3 months. And my situation didn't last long. So when the first episode of the individual violating the restraining order was the first and last time, I didn't have trouble. I didn't have trouble. There was some clarity and understanding that this can go left real quick. And if you don't want it to go left real quick, I suggest you go on because it's over. Now go on with yourself for there be situations. So that's what happened. And that was back in the day. So, because the system was flawed and it wasn't protecting me. So, you know, as y'all probably can tell, I have never been a punk, right? Sometimes I say there's no punks in the kingdom. And so now I'm superly not no punk, right? So I wasn't a punk then, and now I'm superly not a punk. So, you know, there's ways to deal with situations. So I encourage you not to maybe follow my steps, but definitely, call the police and use steps to help you out. Okay. Because the system at that time was very flawed. Again, I don't know now. Cause like I said, after that one time, it has never happened, will never happen ever, ever again. And I hope by the end of this video, you will say the same. Yes, Nigeria, I got caught out there and, it wasn't cool, but thank you for sharing. And this will never, ever, ever happen to me again. All right. So, again, we're in October, which acknowledges Domestic Violence Month or week. DV has increased since COVID, and it's continuing to increase. I mean, it's so bad. I know you're hearing about people who are like actually becoming unalive because of relationships going bad and people being abused in their relationship. The most recent one was I think she was an Olympic runner who had an art with her boyfriend over some property, and he set her on fire. And as he tried to set her on fire, he caught on fire, and both of them are dead. Right? But like, that's horrible. Horrible. And I mean, I read that and I just prayed and was just asking God to intervene. But she didn't make it. But if you need help and you don't know what to do, and I put the number up there and the information up there. You can email me at safespacetalks@gmail.com. And you already know I have the connections to connect you to someone who can help you. Why? Because I love me some y'all. Well, that's it. This was rough for me, guys. But I will see you next week. Same bat channel, same bat time. Be blessed. Be safe. You are so wonderful. You do not deserve anybody putting their hands on you. I mean, you don't deserve anybody thinking that you're a 2024 slave and that they can just, put their hands on you and beat you. Like, no. And so, please share this video. Please share it so people can know what to look out for. All right. See you next week.